so early. You guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
Nobody fucking enjoys Taster's Choice. I'm sorry.
I do.
Bullshit.
Hi, guys.
No.
You made it literally on the nick of time.
Yeah.
So.
Jesus Christ, Wi-Fi in winter. It's a dream.
Yes, I want to say good morning to our panel first. Anima Confusa, who is alive and well, coughing. I took my
As always.
I took my cold tablets today, so hopefully my coughing will be to a minimum. And of course, to John, who is in the wonderful Sedalia, Missouri, just north of us by about 2 hours. Well, hour and a half, I guess, an hour and a half from.
No, it's 2 hours. It's 120
2 hours. Okay.
120 miles.
120 miles. Okay. As a crow flies.
Yeah.
And of course, to Martina Costa Santana, who gave us a few minutes because poor Anima was having some internet issues today. And he's like, hey, Bus, should I bump the show? And I went, fuck it. Go ahead. Bump it. 5 minutes. Give her 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
And
now we can do it.
She did the heroic soldier thing. Go on without me.
Idiot.
I can't leave you. No, go. Anyway, so
I'm surprised it's back on, to be honest. It's been acting weird for like 2 hours. So
imagine that. Croatian third world country internet acting like crap.
Yep.
So I want to say good morning to Penny, Dork Knight's mom. The Dork Knight, that's Penny's son. And Joseph Dredd is here. D. Bud Martin, Monkey Jeebus. And I'm so glad to have him back to his real name. I don't think I ever want to know his real name, like birth name. I just love him as Monkey Jeebus.
No, he's Jeebus. That's fine.
Yes. Jeebus. Hello, Jeebus. Thank you. Come again. And Joe's atmosphere is here.
In a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, that's because he was Krampus, and I didn't like Krampus as much. I like Monkey Jeebus. Sounds like you're working at a 7-Eleven in some town in not Missouri, but Virginia. But anybody say anything that I should take notice of? Watching episode 1 of 1899. I'm going to tell you. I hope you enjoy it, Penny. It's very thought provoking. It is not one of those shows for the lighthearted. For the casual TV viewer, I would not recommend this show. And I think that's maybe what killed it. Maybe that's what killed it.
We had a great time watching those 2 episodes last night.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like, oh my God, it's over? Oh, I want to watch more. But Anima's like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I've got to sleep. Like, Jesus,
it was really fun to watch episode 5 with Gerry because I'd already watched it and taken my notes. So I knew all the what the fuck moments. And watching him go into that was fun.
Yeah, I was like, what? What the fuck just happened? Well, what's funny is, some of the things both of us predicted happened. And it was exactly what we predicted. I still have a prediction that I think is going to happen. I don't know. It just disappoints me that Netflix did that to him. We should have given him at least a season 2. That's the people that brought you Dark.
Season 2.
Yeah.
They brought you Dark. Maybe cut the budget for him. Tell him, hey, man, you need to cut some corners. But, man, to do that, come on.
Hey,
Come
let's
on,
not get too
man.
pessimistic. Maybe somebody picks it up and does a season 2. That's always that.
Well, we're hearing
too, right?
hubbub about Warner Brothers is pissed. I posted about it yesterday. David Zaslav is not happy with the repayment plan that Netflix is set up with. And he's like, no. And so now there's supposedly a fight between Amazon and Netflix over Wednesday. And of all the shows to fight over, I'm like, really? But I guess it is, it is a popular show, and I guess that's important. I would have thought something of quality would have been something to fight over, like 1899. But I think that 1899 was cut because it was too smart for its own good.
Yep.
And I think Netflix is in trouble. And I think this is a sign of that trouble because they put a lot behind 1899. And for them to just walk away from it and these creators, I think that's a sign of the times.
I'm disappointed that it doesn't pay off. Like, are viewers really that into shallow entertainment that they don't appreciate a show like 1899?
I don't know, because I sure did. I'm kind of pleased with Netflix putting out at least a modicum. I mean, there was a period of time when I don't know, John, if you ever heard me say this, but Keith and I, when we first started the show, I said it's about 60% crap, 40% really good. It dropped down for 2 years to maybe 5% good, and the rest was just garbage. And I'm not talking about any of the old stuff that they purchased to, a license to show.
Yeah.
I'm talking about original material. And they had dropped down to as little as 5% for 2 years. It was bad. And it hurt them. And they're now paying the price for that. And that's why they told people that were woke, fuck off. Fuck off. You cost us money.
Well, when I heard that they canceled this, my reaction was, I guess it didn't have enough twerking 12-year-olds in it for the Netflix executives.
Well, for that one Netflix executive.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be happy until that piece of shit is taken out and put in prison. He's a scumbag. Buying that French film. What was it called? I forget the name of it now.
Cuties.
What a fucking sicko. It's why I canceled my Netflix account and I'll never watch again until he's gone. When he's gone, I'll probably come back. Let's see. Crusader Lion just joined us. Good morning. How are you doing? And of course, Joe says, what up, pop culture minefield sweepers? Minefield sweepers. It's there was an old, I'm not going to tell it, but it said, oh, fuck it. World War II. How were World War II Italians taught to do the minefield? And it was plug their ears and tap their toes in front of them.
Feet, yeah.
Because it's not really talking about Italians. It's really talking about Mussolini's army, the fascists. And I love it when we were just talking about this yesterday when it was brought up that Nazis and fascists keep being called by people right-wingers. And I'm like, you clearly don't know history. They were both socialist and leftists. Fascists were leftists, and the Italian fascists were leftists. And the name that Hitler had was called Nazi, which stands for National Socialists. But these idiots don't care about history. They love revisionist history where they start to write things in their own image. And that's fucked up because that's how history repeats itself. That's where you'll see people shouting other people down, like they did in Germany, in the 30s. You remember that shit in the film strips that we watched? People getting attacked in the street for daring to stand up against them. We are the higher number. We will crush you. Or as, I would like to say, crushinate you. But history. And this isn't politics. This is history. I'm talking history, man. History is important. History will teach us nothing if we ignore it. And like I once said years ago, like history is the gift that keeps on giving. You just got to be receptive to it. You got to be willing to look at it, the ugly and the good. And as Shane said on our show yesterday, you cannot judge the past with modern eyes. And
Yep.
that's the problem with these people is revisionists want to rewrite history and talk about how bad these people were. Well, you wouldn't have your ability to complain if not for those people. Oh, that doesn't matter. People are stupid. And poor Tom, Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge was dealing with an asshole I blocked 4 years ago. I blocked him 4 years ago, and Tom was dealing with him yesterday. And I unblocked the guy just so I can see who he's talking to. And I went, oh, that fucking asshole. And so I just took I don't know if he saw what I did. I just took a nice shot at him because he called him garbage. I said, yeah, he's sad he's not hot garbage because, boy, I could really go for some hot garbage today. I'm trying all the time to get people to block me, saying mean things.
I do too. I can't get them to block me.
They'll block Tom. Tom will just say something snarky. I'll say something insulting, and they won't block me. And I'm wondering, do they just not understand what I just said to them? I don't know. Why aren't they blocking me? But I blocked him a long time ago because he was coming on to one of the Star Trek groups I was in, talking about how wonderful Discovery and all that was. And I'm like, oh, you're not you're not a fan.
I refuse to say that Discovery even exists. It's so bad.
Well, I always Keith and I refer to it as STD.
Yes.
I've been approved.
If they're
and I have
dumb
my
enough, what?
I have my blue check mark now.
And
on Twitter,
your penis get bigger?
Yes, it did.
What did he just say? I only use Twitter for my wrenching. Is that code for some sort of sex move there, D-Bud? Wrenching sounds painful. It's like, it reminds me of that Buddy Hackett joke. Well, how do you do it? Well, like this. I wrench the shit out of it. So it is Fantastic Thursday. How many minutes are we into this show? 12 minutes. I'm hoping we get at least 15 people watching the live show, but it's like, I don't care, to be honest with you. I love you guys. Whoever shows up, I will show you that love. I'm not going to hide it from you. Let's see. Nope, no new videos. Martin, we need to start doing some new videos and throw some of the old ones away. But I did add this one just for Danny. Here you go. This is just for Danny.
You just made the list!
So it's like I found a video of like just a bunch
That
of
even
his.
sounds like Danny.
Yeah, I know, because Danny's
so cool.
doing that voice. No, I'm odd for. I know what it means, D, but I'm fucking with you, dude. Jesus Christ. How long have you known me now? Take me literally. Morning, Chris. No, I haven't heard anything back from Cage yet. I was teasing him a little bit in the private chat. I'm getting a little antsy. I think after the show today, I'm going to put a call in to see, if we can have a meeting. We need, I need to have a meeting with them and find out what's going on, because we can't start promoting the product until we receive the product. And so I don't know. And we, to my knowledge, they haven't set up our individual codes yet. And they're not going to set up the codes until we've received the product and sampled the product. And I'm really curious if this stuff like touts energy, because that's really, I'd like to have more energy during the day. And I'm careful with my coffee because I learned that if you drink coffee or caffeine within 90 minutes of waking up, that's when you'll experience caffeine crashes. And I've discovered I have left, and you'll notice I don't sleep so much in the afternoons because of it. I stopped drinking coffee until outside 90 minutes. And so I think
do
I'm
not
only
wake up
having
or
maybe
not.
one, maybe 2 days a week. I have to take a nap, tops, and that's usually because I'm fucking worn out because of this virus, or just simply worn out because I know it's weird. But doing these shows exhausts me because I have to keep my brain bouncing all the time. And suddenly, like 2 hours after a show, and I'm like,
That's not weird at all. It is exhausting to do this. It's work.
well, I was just explaining to somebody, I said, I'm an introvert. I'm actually literally an introvert. I'm very introverted. People go, well, how do you know that? I said, because when the choice is given to me, I don't fucking talk to people. I prefer just being completely alone doing my shit, and people who are extroverts in particular wear me out, man. Danny wears me out. What?
We have bridge.
Oh, we have a breach. Okay. Let's see. I wish I had another new one, but here, we'll do this one.
Front door team and back door team.
You know Scan Dog's all about the back door, but quick question, when has splitting the party ever worked?
There you go.
You will be getting some more of those in the upcoming weeks. As
You know what?
New seasons.
Yep.
You know what? We should clip Shane from yesterday's stream saying backdoor constantly.
Yes,
He's
that
so
was
fucking
amazing.
funny. When you guys got to hang out with him after the show, did you not see why we love him so much? He is so fucking awesome. He's one of my favorite people.
I was
And he
so
and I-
glad to meet him.
And he brought up that we've argued, and we've had arguments, but they're very polite arguments. He brings his knowledge, I bring mine, and we meet, and I'm like, and I challenged him on one thing because I said, "There's no record of that," and he was like, going, "Well, not in your sources." And so I said, "Well, I want to see your source," and he did. He showed me a source, and I went, "Well, that's interesting. Okay." All right, I'll acquiesce and say that maybe did happen. And we were talking about Teddy Roosevelt. We were arguing over this, like 2 years ago. We had an argument with Teddy Roosevelt. And
Was it Teddy? I thought it was FDR.
no, it's Teddy. We're arguing
was
about
it?
Teddy
Okay.
Roosevelt because Teddy Roosevelt had 2 episodes, technically 3 episodes, where he did something that really was, it didn't just skirt, it went over the line of racism. And the first time was on San Juan Hill. A lot of people don't know it. They left it out of that movie that Dale Dye worked on, my boss. He worked on that film with Tom Berenger as Teddy. And it shows him yell at those people, get up, you sons of bitches, and cusses them out to get him to go up the hill. And in historical fact, that was a black regiment that he yelled that to, and they changed it for the film. And so the context of how he said that to them may have not been so nice, and so funny, like he was calling a bunch of cowards, because that's how they present it in the movie and in history, unless you read the actual history books, and then you're like, whoa, wait a minute, he said that? And then, of course, when there was a black regiment that was called out for raping a local girl in Tennessee, I think it was. It might have been Kentucky. And he absolutely didn't defend them or support them. And it was clearly bogus charges. And a lot of people, when I say that, people who support the black community and those in the black community who held a grudge for that shit. And I think that's why he didn't get elected again. People don't forget little things like that. And then the other mistake he made was what Shane talks about, where Teddy Roosevelt did a lot of stuff that was not exactly right with American Indians. And it was something I was unaware of because I know that the one thing that he did, I know, and I kind of said this to him yesterday. I know you guys heard me when I said it to him. He says, well, he took a lot of land from the tribes. And I said, he took a lot of land from everybody in order to do what he did. And he did something for the environment that no president or all the presidents combined together haven't done for the environment. He had more of a greater impact on the breaking down of monopolies and on protecting the environment than all the presidents since combined.
Yep.
One president, Teddy Roosevelt, but he did it through eminent domain.
Which
and
I
he
hate.
took, yeah, but if not for that, look how much forestry we have because of it.
Yeah.
You know, but I felt like the tribes should have been allowed to live on those lands. I don't care if it was federally protected. I felt like he shouldn't have. Taking property from private citizens is tough, but when you've already taken so much away from the American Indians and then you take more, that's what Shane was talking about. It was an interesting. I love talking with Shane. We just have fun delving into history. We're like two kids with soldiers in a sandbox.
Well, I hate eminent domain because it's used too much.
It's used too often. That's right.
Yeah, it's used too much, and especially done for
when it's done for commercial purposes.
Yes,
real estate purposes.
Here, we're going to build a new stadium, so we'll take in your house.
It's enrichment for individuals, and that's when I think it's criminal that they shouldn't be doing it. What he did was he was trying to protect our forestry, and the animals too. He was worried about protecting the animals. As great a hunter as he was a great conservationist.
So you could be a hunter and a conservationist at the same time.
You need to be a conservationist to be a hunter.
Yeah. Amen. To be a good hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't...
Otherwise, you're a poacher.
Yeah. Well, you know that throughout history, we've had those who hunted animals into extinction. The dodo is a prime example of, uncontrolled hunting. You got to respect the fucking land and you got to respect the fucking animals. You hunt, but you don't hunt to extinction. And it's just shameful when we see that with our species.
Makes me wonder what dodo tastes like, that they were so good they were hunted out of extinction.
It's just like, what was the drive for that? And if this is what I've said, if cloning were something that they could do to bring back species, never do it with the dinosaur, but do it to animals that we drove into extinction. Bring those back. If you're able to bring back a species, bring one back that natural selection didn't kill. Bring back stuff that we fucking killed. But scientists always doing stupid shit and being on the wrong side of history all the time.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind having my own personal triceratops.
Well, we have them. Okay. If they can make mini ones, they can not get bigger than 4 inches.
You read the book, Jurassic Park?
The book, I read the book Jurassic Park.
Oh, that was a question. I didn't realize it was a question. Yeah. I read it way back before the movie.
The competing company has the better idea. Let's clone dinosaurs, modify them to be pet size, and they are not carnivores. They can only eat the food that we make for them.
Yeah,
that was a better approach.
Fuck yeah, it was way better. So Wade, no, I did not. I'm not going to read that comic. I don't give two shits for their politics. It's goofy. I saw everything that I needed to see in that comic shared in our groups. So did he ask their pronouns before he ordered the charge? By the way, Zach, Dale and Julia are going to be on Dangerous Military Nerds next month. So very excited about that. He's in Los Angeles right now working on a film. And he'll be home, I think, the end of week 1 of February. And then we're going to have him on in week 2. Probably right around Valentine's Day. I don't know what day Valentine's falls on. But technically, we are natural selection as we are part of nature. Yeah, but there's things that we do that are unnatural. And I will absolutely stand by that to the end. That we do things where we force things to happen. And clearly not part of the natural process. It's fucked up. and I will stand by that statement. You know, humans are the only species to really do what we do. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't other species in the world that don't hunt, because they clearly do. Dolphins and porpoises, whales. I mean, I've watched films, tons of videos of killer whales, man, just laying waste to seals and killing other animals. They'll kill any animal that's food. And but they don't seem to do it to the extent that we do, which is we do something that I know killer whales will do too. Killer whales in particular are bottlenose dolphins have done it too. Kill for sport. I don't know too many other mammals that do it like we do. I know bottlenose dolphins have killed out of sport for fun. Cats. And killer whales will do it too. Cats don't count. Cats are too small to count as. I mean, yeah, they're mammals, but they're so fucking tiny.
They kill for entertainment. And
they enjoy killing. No, there's no doubt. And wildcats in particular, really horrifying when you watch how a lion kills a big water buffalo. And I've watched so many fucking videos just in the last week of there's these Russian channels, man, and all they are videos of animals killing other animals. Because the Russians don't buy that bullshit. Nature is nice. See this lion being nice to that buffalo? They don't take into consideration that lion is just confused because that little fucking buffalo is confused itself. So it became confused. So it started like treating it like it was one of its lion cubs because it was confused that it wasn't running from it. Yeah, if that thing had panicked or made any noise, the lion would have killed it because that's what they're triggered to go at. It's, you know, I find it people think they love to show these dodo. Ironically, the name of one of those groups is dodo videos. You ever watch those? Animals interacting with each other in nature, where they nurture each other. It's like, yeah, it's cute. It's cute, but that's not nature. Family Guy got it right when they did that episode where you see an animal kill another animal and you hear the voice go, "Damn, nature, you're scary." Because nature is fucking scary as shit. But anyway, we are now officially 28 minutes into it, first half hour. I think everybody that's going to be here is here. 12 people. I think we're good. I catch everybody. I say good morning to everybody. Socks Bulletin's here. Socks. Of course, Zach's, Railway Nation, Christopher Moonlight Productions, Chris. And yep, got everybody. All right. Everybody is here. We can now begin the show, and Anima can stop hiding. Oh, Gary's talking like this. I have to hide. She does. The minute I start talking, she just disappears off screen.
No, it's nobody needs to see me cough up along, so.
Oh, they watch John and me do it. That's right. You're prettier than us, so yeah, I get it. You don't want to spoil that image. So I took my cold medicine, so hopefully I'll not be coughing so much this show. So let's get into it. Episode 5. Yeah, that was a good mindfuck episode.
Oh yeah.
A lot of stuff happened in that episode. Let's unpack that. Who wants to get us started? Because I know
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you've got all the notes and
Chris is.
Oh, hey, I'll see you later, Chris. Take it easy,
Chris.
buddy. So I'm gonna move you over
You were
here.
lifting for Penny and me.
What? Penny and you?
Oh. Well, he's always lifting for the girls in chat, and Penny and I
Oh.
are here, so I hope he was. He owes us that.
So here we go. It's all you. You're all on your own.
Oh. Okay. He knows I hate that.
I'll do it this way.
Thanks. Okay, as always, we start in someone's head. Fuck you, Gerry. And we are in Mora's head. She has a flashback where she wakes up on a hill in asylum clothes with the fresh marks on her wrists. And she sees a cross, and as she approaches it, we can see that it says "Wake Up" on the cross. And it cuts to the vision that she had in episode 1, where 2 doctors take her away from her father, and she screams at him, "What happened to my brother? You know I'm not crazy." And they take her away. And we hear the voice, as in every episode, say "Wake up." And she takes a breath and wakes up on the ship, on the floor in the dining hall. And she finds that they locked the boy up in the cabinet because they're so freaked out by him appearing after being thrown off the rails, because nobody survives that. And how did we get back on the ship? It's just, they are completely freaked out by that. Especially the captain, because he's like out of control of the things happening on his ship, and it pisses him off. And he really is freaked out by finding Mora's name on the passenger list of the Prometheus. Hi, buddy. Oh. We cut to Franz and his mutiny crew, and they are still in control. And he assures them, even if they take the bridge, we still have the engine room, so we have control about the ship, and we need to go to New York. We're about 3 days away from New York, and then people in his crew start asking, and what will happen once we reach it? Because there's death penalty to mutiny, and France doesn't have answers to that. So people are really getting scared. The Dutch woman stands up and says, no, we're not going to surrender. And she's cool with making more sacrifices because she's so set on her course. She's a complete maniac. And that's when Tove gets up and leaves. And she joins Krester in the area where they all sleep with the bed. And they talk about Ada and how she was different from them because she was never scared of their mother, who is clearly sick. And apparently they made a plan to get away from them as soon as they reached America, but Krester is being a coward and backing out of that. So Tove sets off with a rifle. And at that point, I thought she was going to kill her mother, but she's not. We see the panel with the weird machine behind it. It's active, but it hasn't worked before. So that's weird. Then we cut to the French couple, Clémence and Lucien. And she's upset to find out that everything he told her was lies. He was never an officer. His whole life that he told her was a lie. And he throws at her, it's easy for you to talk like that because it's so easy for you. You have everything. And just seeing you reminds me of all the things that I can't have. And she wants to know if he ever loved her. To which he says, yes. And I wish I didn't, because I can't have all that. I can't have a life or love or you. And it's weird with those two. We're then back in the dining hall where people ask the captain, what's the plan? And that's when Tove enters. And they, of course, have guns pointed at her, but she says, don't shoot, I'm here to help because we need to stop my mother because she's crazy. And that's when the boy starts banging on the door again of the cabinet. And Mora wants to free him all the time, but they all order her not to. But this time she doesn't care, and she goes for the cabinet. And one of the men shoots at her, and we're having this Matrix moment where this weird
time stops.
Time stops, yes. Time stops for everybody but Mora. She can still move. Everybody else is frozen. And she plucks the bullet from the air. And that's when I was like, no way she could touch it. It's hot as fuck. But Gerry and I had a little discussion about time freezing having an effect on the heat of the bullet. I don't know. I still think it's weird that she could just touch it like that. She lets the boy out of the cabinet because time hasn't stopped for him too. And he has this pyramid with him, of course. And she wants to know what's happening. He's not talking. He just grabs her hand and leads her out. And as soon as they leave the dining hall, time starts again. So everybody freaks out because she was there and now she's not.
Well, I would like to point out that Daniel tried to jump in front of the bullet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And she's watching all this and sees it freeze. It's so Matrix, that moment. I really like that. The moment time starts again, sirens set off. The captain attacks Daniel because he thinks that Daniel is behind the weird stuff that's happening. Tove intervenes. And they want to know, Captain, what's the plan? What are we going to do? And the captain tells them, of all the problems we have, our biggest problem is that they are firing the engines at maximum speed and we don't have enough coal to reach land on that speed. So we need to take control back of the ship because otherwise we'll be stranded in the middle of the ocean without any coal to power up our engines. At that moment, the siren stops and the clock ticking sound sets in. And the passengers start to walk to that and leave the dining hall. Not all of them, but most of them. And that's, sorry. We called that out a couple of times up to this point, the NPCs, because it seems to be NPC characters that are affected by the clock ticking. We see scenes all over the ship. Ling Yi's mom starts walking to the clock ticking, and Krester does too, and a lot of underdeck people, which is really weird that those two are NPCs too. That was one of the what the fuck moments in this episode. And it turns out the people all walk on deck and jump from the ship, all of them. We are back with Mora and the boy. He's leading her through the hallways to their cabin, through the marching people, and she just wants to know what's happening. And in the cabin, the boy finds a writing pad and a pen, and he writes, "They are listening," because she wants to know what's with these people. And his answer is, "They are listening." And then he finally talks. He whispers in her ear, "I can't tell you. You have to ask the creator." What the fuck?
Yep.
We then see the first mate entering a code in the panel with the three symbols, the upside down pyramid, the red button in the middle, and the up facing pyramid. We don't know what that is.
Well, he's getting them from the telegraph that
yeah, but who is he communicating with? We get that at the end of the next episode.
Yeah.
Because he's involved. Let's put it that way. The next scene is in the corridors where the mutiny people and the captain's people meet, and of course have their guns pointed at each other. And that's where the Dutch priest comes to find them, and he's completely upset because he just witnessed his son jump from the ship. He couldn't stop him. Nobody can stop these people. They are marching and they're jumping overboard, and you can't hold them back. You can't stop them. They're like robots. And so he tells them they're jumping overboard. They're killing themselves, all of them. And people are marching past them all the time. It's so disturbing. And Krester has been missing for a while. So his mom asks the Dutch priest, what about Krester? And he tells her, he jumped too. And he holds the cross that Krester had. And that's when she just snaps out of it. She's gone, like mentally gone. We see Daniel sneaking off. And Ling Yi, who just saw her mother jump off the ship, is clearly upset, and so Oleg goes to her and they hug. There's something going on between those two. And they talk in their languages, so they can't understand each other, but they still do understand each other. It's what people do in these series. They just don't even try to speak English most of the time. They just speak their own language, and somehow the other person can figure out what it's about. We're then back with the boy and Mora in her cabin, and the boy goes into the tile shaft and tells her to not be afraid, and he puts the beetle down, and the beetle starts crawling off, and the boy follows. And as soon as the boy's out of sight, Mora gets down into the shaft, and it's not like closed tiled walls anymore. It's an open shaft, so she starts following the boy. And when she reaches the end of the shaft, she's on the hill from the vision that she had at the beginning of the episode. And the opening of the shaft just hangs there midair like a portal. It is so weird. The cross is there as well, but there's nothing written on it this time. And we see the building in the distance, which is the asylum that her father built. So she starts walking towards it. Daniel has reached the cabin and he sees the open shaft, says fuck, and goes in because he was hoping to be able to stop them, apparently. But the wall has closed again. So he takes out this little device that he has and enters a code, and that opens the wall. And we see this Harry Potter effect because it's like the wall to, what's it called? The alley where all the shops are. For the
Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley, thank you. It's been a while. that was similar. Like the tiles moving and opening the wall. I really like that. They did that here.
Yeah, the special effects in this series are excellent.
They are. I'm so bummed that they are not continuing. I really hope somebody picks it up because it's so good. It deserves a second season. But also I heard it apparently ends on a cliffhanger, which is really shitty to leave us with that.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. I'll probably watch the last 2 episodes today. I didn't want to do that before the show, but yeah, I need to finish it. Where do we leave? Yeah. So the boy is looking at the cross. That's when Daniel comes out of the shaft, goes to the boy, and he's angry. Like, why did you do that? Now it knows we're here now. That's what he says to the boy. It. And the boy answers, we've never made it this far, so maybe this time it'll work. So we already picked up that what happened on the Prometheus is what happens on the Kerberos now. It's repeating itself and apparently failing. And he also tells Daniel that Mora is here, but she doesn't remember. And Daniel just freaks out and tells the boy to wait there. He has to leave him and go back on the ship because he needs to stop the people before they sink the ship. So apparently that's what happened on the Prometheus. I don't know. It's just... we cut back to the ship. People are still jumping off. It's such a disturbing sight, like to see the ship and people just falling off. And also inside the cabins, wherever you see a window of a cabin, you see people like bodies just falling. It's so freaky. Ramiro goes to his cabin where Angel has barricaded himself in, but he gets the door open and goes to Angel, and he's out of it too. He's sitting on the floor singing to himself, not seeing anything that's happening around him. And I don't know, we don't get answers as to why Angel and the Dutch mom snap out of it. It happens to those two, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Jérôme enters the French couple's cabin. Lucien, of course, throws a gun at him, but Jérôme disarms him and has Clémence tie him up to the bed. He then ties up Clémence too, and then he ties himself to a column. because he figures out that what happens to people, like the people walking and jumping overboard, might infect them too. So better tie themselves up so in case they get infected, they can't move away and go jump. Yeah, people all over the ship, the ones that are not affected, tie themselves to stuff so it doesn't happen to them.
Like in mythology where the men are tied up to go past the sirens.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Odyssey.
Yeah. Well, like he has his men block their ears and tie him to the mast because he wants to hear siren.
Yeah.
It's like, he's such a dick, man. But yeah. We see an officer on the bridge and he telegraphs trying to reach the company and immediately receives an answer. And it says sink ship. It's that same message again. Daniel is back on the ship and he goes to the engine deck where the machine behind the panel is that apparently has never worked on the cables before. It's definitely working now, and he starts to plug in wires and do stuff. And in an earlier scene, we've seen that all the people working in the engine room but one are affected. So that one guy who is still there, not walking to this ticking sound, he spots Daniel and is like, what are you doing? What is this? He has never seen stuff like that before. Also, Daniel has a torch and they didn't have those back then. So he's like, what is that? Yeah. And his handheld device, and he's asking way too many questions. But Daniel is running out of time. So he just stops listening to that guy and tries to do his stuff. And the guy picks up a pipe and knocks Daniel to the ground. And they end up fighting, and he tries to choke Daniel, but he manages to reach his device and presses a button, and that deactivates the guy. I can't even say kill because it's like a character in the game. He's deactivated.
Cut it like cutting a puppet strings.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had my doctor called. Like, really? The only time you know this because you've seen it happen. Like the only time the pharmacy or my doctor calls is like right in the middle of the show. So it's like, don't you know what I do for a living? Anyway, I wanted to point out that I kind of like that because it is the first thing I noticed on there, and I pointed it out that girl wasn't dead. She looked like she had just had everything taken out of her. The first when we find that first little girl, and it's exactly what it is. They're in a virtual world, and that was one of the things I said was going to happen. I'm like, this is not time travel. This is a virtual reality. It's the Matrix of some sort. And I believe that those things that we see that look like black Superman crystals coming from, the Fortress of Solitude. I think it's the breakdown. That it's breaking that world down or that environment down. I don't think it's a virus because it's not acting like a virus, even though when you touch it, have you touched on that one yet?
No,
that's next episode.
That's next episode? Oh, okay, because I can't remember when that happened. Because you and I are both like, don't touch it. Why do you want to touch it?
And of course she does.
What is the draw? Because two people go, oh, like a bug going towards a bug zapper. The pretty light. The pretty light. It's like, are they just drawn to it? Is it there's an energy maybe given off by it? But absolutely, they're not killed. I believe that they're just sent back to storage. Or whatever pod they're in.
You get that in Star Trek too.
Yeah, all they're doing is disconnecting the person from the avatar. And that's what these people are. This show should be called Avatar Steampunk.
Yeah.
Steampunk Avatar. That's all it is. Anyway, I wanted to throw my 2 cents in on that because I heard that when I jumped in. So please continue. Don't stop on my account.
Need more coffee. Mara is in the asylum, mental hospital, whatever. And it's empty and dark. And she just walks around there and comes up to a room with the number 1011, which is also the number on her.
Which again, I brought up the minute I see certain numbers, automatically I think binary.
Yeah.
And so, like with that one, that is like it's a code for the what was it? It's a code for a letter, and it's also code for the color gray. Standard gray.
Okay.
Is 1011 1011. So I'm like, does that have some significance? I don't know. It's really weird.
We don't know yet. She enters the room and it's empty. There's just a treatment chair in there. And all of a sudden, her father stands behind her and asks her, "Where did you hide it?" Again, an it. We don't know what he's talking
And
about.
I think it's the pyramid. It's the pyramid.
Oh, yeah, we figure that out in the next episode.
Yeah. Well, I figured that out. I think you and I figured that out way before that.
Yeah, but we get the definite answer to that in the next episode. That, of course, it is the pyramid.
Well, there's, one plot point needs to be pointed out that once again, there are two characters that aren't supposed to be there. It's the boy and the older young man.
Daniel.
The reason why is we noticed we saw the ship's complement. They're not supposed to be there. Otherwise, there would be two of them running around. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's basic math. And so clearly they're outside the system.
Yeah, but listen, if the boy isn't supposed to be there, why does he respawn after they throw him off?
I have no clue. I can't explain that. That's in
so
the minds of the
weird.
creator.
I do, but
I
can't say anything.
Oh, you've already seen it?
Yeah.
My assumption is that he is the central plot point of whatever it is they're doing. I think that whatever's happening revolves around him. And I think that that's why Daniel is doing what he's doing and why he disappeared. So go ahead, hon. I'm sorry.
Mora, of course, has many questions about what is happening. Is this even real? What happened to Kieran, her brother? And she suspects that Kieran found out something about what the father is doing, and that's why the father made him disappear. And the father starts to flicker and disappears. And two doctors or guards or whatever, same stuff that happens in her vision. They grab her, they force her into the chair, and she's injected in the side of her neck. And the needle goes in so deep. It made me like, every time we see that. It's in the opening credits too. I'm like,
And of course, that's not how you would introduce that kind of medicine into a human. It's like, it's purely there for trauma.
Yeah.
Created
but it goes
for
in something
trauma.
like that. That must reach her spine or
Hey,
something.
Jacob.
And it's this black fluid too.
Yeah. It's just Mora wakes up on her bed next to the open shaft on the ship. And she runs. And in the hallway, she runs into the captain who just saw her disappear when the time froze. So, of course, the captain is freaked out. And she tells him the boy stopped time with his pyramid. He did that. And then she tells...
I don't know. I'm reminded of a joke real quick here. In the immortal words of Nefertiti, not tonight, it's my pyramid. Classic Robin Williams. Come on.
Okay. Nobody knows what you're talking about, Gerry.
It's Robin Williams. If you know Robin Williams, that's all that matters.
Who doesn't know him? Great guy. We miss him. Shall I continue? Dude, it's your show after all. Okay.
You can go if you want to. I don't care. I've gotten comfortable with dead air. So, how you doing, John?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. How's the weather up there?
And that's when they're both like, fuck, we don't have notes, we can't do this.
Yeah. It's not the first time I've been derailed. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. You've been winging it before, so.
Yeah,
I like winging it.
Well, the deal with her and the captain. That's when we find out what her last name is.
Yes, her real last name. Yeah.
She tells the captain her story, how Singleton, the guy who bought the fleet of 3 ships, is her father.
Yep.
And that she suspects all what's happening to be an experiment to study human behavior, because that's what her father is into. Ever since mom went crazy, and her brother apparently found out something and wanted to meet at the docks in Southampton. And she went to meet him, but he never showed up. And she found out that the Prometheus left the day before. And then the Prometheus went missing. And her brother was missing too. So she figured he must be on board of that ship. And that's why she went on to the Kerberos. That's great.
I was giving a thumbs up to D. Bud Martin.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to have met that guy. I really would have. But keep going. I'm sorry. Because I want to hear more of what's happening here.
Mara stops talking because she spotted the beetle on the desk, and she catches it.
Oh, yeah.
And tells the captain to help her move his bed and open the shaft under his bed. And she goes down there and tells him, I don't know how this works, but this thing opens doors. And the beetle crawls towards the wall and it opens again. And the captain follows Mara. And the end of his shaft, of course, is in the wood that we've seen in his vision. And he hears Nina sing and follows the voice. And it leads to a burned house. That is his house, of course.
Yeah.
And he's like, how can this whole world fit on a ship? And Mara tells him about her shaft and where it leads to. So apparently everybody who has a cabin, at least, has a shaft that leads to the traumatic experience in the past.
And she tells him it's not real.
She says she doesn't know if it's real. It doesn't seem to be real. But at this point, nobody knows what's happening, and nobody's trusting their eyes. Like, yeah, we see things, but we have no idea if we actually see them or if something is making us see them. And she knows her father is behind this, and it's some kind of experiment, and he's watching. The first mate goes to the bridge and finds an officer, the officer that was telegraphing before with a message. And the officer wants him to turn the ship and go back to Europe. But the first mate just takes the message from him and says, you don't have to worry about this anymore, and takes out the same device that Daniel has and deactivates the guy.
Yep.
People are still jumping. That is so disturbing. Whenever we cut to the total of the ship and people are just jumping off, it freaked me out every time we saw that.
Like, how many people are on this damn ship?
Yeah, well, we see in the end there are not many people left that are not NPCs and have ended themselves.
No.
Mara says at some point to the captain, though, I don't think they are dead. Because if this is not real, they can't kill themselves. And also the boy has been thrown overboard and then he respawned and he's alive. So this must be some kind of, I don't know.
Well,
vision or something.
That's when she tells her about that she was a doctor at her father's hospital.
Yeah, that's the next. And we are 4 minutes over the hour. Martin, you forgot again.
He's so
no, we started late. We started late.
Yeah, but still, we're at the hour point. So
yeah.
I've got to do this. Hey, guys, get ready for...
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the middle of the film.
And then of course there's this.
You just made the list.
There you go. I did that one for you, Danny.
It sounds like him, absolutely. That's great.
Yeah, so it's on the main page for Pop Culture Minefield in the main area. So if you're wondering where it's at. And if you need me to send it to you, I'll send it to you. Oh, Stortapoopas Cuber is here.
Hi, Cuber.
Hey, Cuber.
Hello, Stortapus. Is that the end of episode 5?
Almost.
Let's go wrap that one up.
Because what John just mentioned, the next scene is Captain and Mora, and they're back on the ship and talking about, is this even real? And he shows her the paper he took from the furnace, the passenger list, and tells her it's not just your name on there. It's my signature too. I was the captain on the Prometheus, apparently. How is this possible? And she tells him that she feels like she figured it out before what's happening, but her father made her forget it because she was a doctor, not a patient at that mental hospital. But he wants her to believe that she's a patient, but she knows she was a doctor there. That's one thing she does remember.
It's just, the interesting part to me is like, what is the necessity of the command for them to sink the other ship? I don't understand the necessity of that. If they abandon each ship, why do they need to sink it? I don't understand that. It's so weird that they would give a command for that. And we're going to see more of that moving forward.
Unless sinking the ship means ending the experiment, like aborting.
Is that what it means? I don't know. It's really weird. The language is so important with everything.
Yes, so many questions. We then see Daniel at the machine, and he connects his device and deactivates that weird machine. And at that moment, the ticking stops. And we see Angel snapping back and being normal again. And also the Dutch mom. And she's having a breakdown because it comes back to her that Cresta died. She lost her son after losing her daughter. Jerome unties himself and then Clemence and leaves. And Mora and the captain are on deck and they find Mrs. Wilson, and it looks like she was just about to climb on the rails to jump herself.
Yep.
When the ticking stopped. So she is an NPC too? Like what? She seems to have her fingers in everything. And now that. And she thinks she just had a weird dream. The people who have not jumped all meet on deck. And there's not a lot of them left.
No.
And the first mate comes up with a message. And the people are asking, why are they sending the message again? Like the Prometheus is gone, remember? Why are they telling us to sink the ship? And Daniel says, no, people, they mean us this time. They want us to sink the Kerberos. And the end scene is Mora's father getting a report from Project Kerberos by one of his workers. And his reaction is, tell him we don't have much time left. He needs to bring me the boy. And then he goes to pull the curtain aside and looks out of the window, and there's a pyramid out there.
And the room is high tech looking.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. It's definitely not.
1899. No.
It's definitely not steampunk. It's. Well, a lot of the computers look like 1960s ish.
Yeah, everything's got that organic curve to it, and the cream colors instead of white or more modern colors.
And all the it's got all the computers all have all the lights on them that flash in random.
But I do have to say that
it has the monitors on the wall.
I started noticing that even that world's
what?
That environment's not real either.
No,
and that's the thing that's freaking me out a little bit. It's like, where's the real world? It's the one thing we've not seen in this show yet is a level where everything is real, where it's tangible. Everything else is like it's a virtual version of everybody, and there are layers of how deep that virtual world goes, and that's really fucking weird. Like, is this like some sort of reference to the 7 levels of hell?
I think that's even weird in the next episode.
Yeah, it's just. Okay. Yeah, I'm onto something. Is that what you're saying? Do this if I'm onto something. Do that. do this. John, I'm talking to you. Do this.
Do what?
If I'm onto something, touch your nose. So I'm not onto
something. I'm sorry.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You bastard.
Dude, by watching it all, you robbed yourself of the joy of trying to guess what's happening week by week.
Yeah, I'm a puzzle guy. I like solving. One of my favorite things to do as a kid was read mystery books where you have to solve it. The answers were in the back, but I never wanted to get to the back. I wanted to figure out the crime.
I didn't rub myself with the guessing. I just didn't wait as long to guess.
Yeah, he can't help it if we're slow as fuck watching things. I hear you, buddy. So is that it for episode 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him to 5.
All right. So so we get that interesting intro, and then we get a repeat of it during the show where she's actually going through what we saw she had the vision of, but it was slightly altered, right? Because the word wake up wasn't on the crucifix.
Right.
Yeah.
And what else was different? I forget.
My Wi-Fi just went out again for a moment, I think.
So what was the other thing that didn't repeat in that vision? Also, I pointed out something that bothered me is that when she came through the portal, that kid was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, when
And
Daniel comes out,
weird.
the kid stands at the cross.
Well, he's at the same spot she was at, which is weird. It's like because he's nowhere around her.
Yeah.
When she comes out and looks at that cross, nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's an open area. You know.
Yeah, it's like on a hill.
Not a place for him to hide, really. So that really I found confounding because it's like, why is that has to be important that he wasn't there. And then when Daniel comes through, there's the kid. And it's like, why wasn't he there when she was there? That's a weird thing. So is she having a different experience?
Yeah, also, when Daniel is talking to the boy, he's like, what the fuck, you brought her here? And the boy's like, yeah, but she doesn't remember. So...
Yeah, and memory is somehow important with her character. So, and we'll find out in episode 6 if that's important. That's his driving force with her. So,
yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, we start in Tove's head. It's her vision. She's in a forest and trying to catch Ada, who is running from her and hiding behind a tree. And when she walks around the tree, there's a man with a rifle. And he says, gotcha. Also, Tove is not pregnant.
Yeah.
When she's in that vision. We cut into her eye and we hear the voice wake up and she takes a breath, wakes up, she's on the ship with the others and she is convinced that it's the boy's fault. Whatever's happening, it's the boy's fault. He seems to be the answer to everything in this.
The boy's the devil.
Or the key. I don't know. I really can't wait to watch the last 2 episodes. The first mate is trying to contact the company, but it's dead air. He's not reaching anything. There's no reply. And the captain is in command again. And he splits up the group. The priests and the first mate stay on the telegraph. The men go to the engine room because they need to power up the machines and try to find land. That's what he keeps saying. But how can there be any land before London, before New York? Like that's the first land you reach when you go over there.
I also want to point out though, this is weird the way they split up because you kept commenting on it too. That the choices that are made and how they split them up is just really kind of bizarre.
Well, now how he splits them up is The priests are not going to be much help down in the engine room, so that's fine. And Mrs. Wilson is being put in charge of finding other survivors, if there are any, with the women. But what I found weird is that Ling Yi is going with the men.
Yeah, that was really weird because
she wasn't
Why?
supposed to. She just refused to leave Oleg.
Oleg, yeah.
So they're like, okay, whatever.
And by the way, I was bothered by them allowing the pregnant girl to keep continuing carrying that gun.
Yeah.
That troubled the shit out of me.
She would not give up her
What's
rifle.
that line in the movie The Thing where Childs reaches for that gun, and what's his name? That the dog sled guy, he pulls out the knife and gets between him and the gun, and Kurt Russell's like, we need someone a little more level-headed.
Yeah.
You got two crazy women, the mother and daughter, the pregnant girl and her mom. And I wouldn't allow anybody to handle that gun that lost control during that last episode that was just walking off to their death. I would not give them a fucking weapon. I would make sure they were not armed at all, in fact, because I would be very, very cautious of those people. Like,
nobody's level-headed on this show, though.
No.
Yeah. Well, the captain, comes across that way, but that dude's in his own form of madness, and she's insane in her own way.
He hasn't been drinking for a while, though, now, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The only person, the young black guy, is about the only level-headed person.
Jerome.
Yeah. He's the only one that seems to be really in control of what he's doing.
Yeah.
He goes out of his way to save others, whereas everybody else is like every person for themselves. And he's like, shut up. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm trying to save you,
Yeah, but he's still in that illusion. The only two people who know what they're doing, we learn in this episode. Daniel and one other guy.
Yeah. So, but anyway, keep going. It's not a derailment. What I did is I wanted to point out some things that are important to know as you move forward. Pay attention, because I'm still like, why the fuck are they letting crazy blonde pregnant girl carry a gun? You're the chosen one.
That's what her mother keeps telling her. Her mother keeps talking about the light and how she's the chosen one. And Jesus, she's so crazy.
The mother's. Oh, I can't say anything. Dang. Sorry. Continue on.
Now you understand.
That must be so difficult for you, John. Not being allowed to spoiler. Next week will be a relief for you when we finally wrap it up. Gerry actually was so pissed about them canceling the show that he was like, yeah, we could just wrap this up, and be done with it. And I was like, no, the show deserves to be talked about.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really pissed they did this, and I wish somebody would push for someone else to pick it up and wrap it up. Give them one more season.
Yeah, I hope that's going to happen. It's just so unfair. We can't have good stuff. All the bullshit they're putting out is continued. We can't have the good stuff being continued. It's so unfair.
Yeah, I concur with that. I do want to show something real quick here while we have a second. Let me get back in here. Monkey Jeebus sent me a couple of videos and wanted me to see them, so I'm going to share them real quick. Make sure the audio is shared for one. This is number one. I'll go ahead and show this one first.
Fucker right now, put this. Fucker right now, put this. Fucker right now, put this.
It's Danny. It's Danny. He put Danny's face on it. It even sounds a little like Danny. This one has no audio to it, but this is weird. It's obvious when you watch the video what's going on here. But it's Danny. Derailed. Get it? He derailed.
Yeah.
That was good. Thank you, Monkey. I do need to say something real quick. People are leaving the group because there are too many videos, Monkey. Slow them down a little bit. Slow them down. Definitely share them with me. Send them to me privately. But some people felt like they were getting spammed by the videos. And I know you're not spamming. I know you're like me. When you get a new program, you just want to keep fucking around with it. And I'm enjoying the shit out of the videos you send. Other people are like, you know, I get your humor.
What's going on? Are you in your garage again?
No, I don't know what the fuck that is. At first, I thought it was a dirt bike, but I'm like, this is a city street. What the hell?
Sounds like a chainsaw.
It could be. If it is, it's a small one.
Yeah.
Do I need to be
That is
concerned?
fucking weird. It's coming from that way. I can hear it over to the right of the house.
Did you piss somebody off?
I piss a lot of people off, and I've never had anybody chase me down with a chainsaw before.
Not
I had
yet,
somebody
anyway.
come at me with a weed eater once, and I'm like, seriously? What are you doing? Yeah, you broke Script. Script was one of them. He's like, I'm fucking out of here. It's like, I'm out of here. It's like,
I was close to leaving, but I chose to just ignore the group for now.
I'm like, please don't go from the group. Script, I get, man. He's busy. So anyway, let's continue.
The captain splits up the people, and him and Mora are going to search for the boy. Because nobody knows where he is at this point. We see the machine that Daniel deactivated, and black stuff is growing out of it. Like, it looks like crystals.
It's it's like the black coal version of the Superman crystals from
Kryptonite.
Fortress. No, from Fortress of Solitude.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, I think we're misunderstanding what it is. But it's coming up because they shut the machine down. So maybe it's something that's in the system that if it's not constantly running, that stuff begins to de-res things like they talk about in Tron.
But Daniel wouldn't have
break it down.
deactivated it then. Daniel wouldn't have deactivated it. He deactivated this machine to stop whatever's happening.
Or slow it down.
It was just
maybe.
It was just too late.
Maybe it's just too late and he was just trying to stop, slow the progress. Because otherwise it's going to go quickly. Now it'll just do the slow breakdown. Yeah, so I don't know. It's one of my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Also, the captain and Mora didn't tell the people all the stuff that they know at this point.
It was just
that's something that, I don't know. It's like, I get it when you want to keep stuff from people because you're not sure how they'll take it. But I think it's a mistake to not, you're down to like a handful of fucking people. I think everybody needs to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, there's like 12 of them left or so.
Yeah, but how's this going to go over? Oh, yeah, by the way, there's these shafts in everybody's room. If you go through them and you open them,
yeah, and I've also been the captain of the other
yours.
ships. What are they going to do with that information? They don't need it at that point, I think.
I don't know. I'm different. I think that knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Not in this case, though.
No, I think
I
think that if you become aware of certain things, you're less likely to touch things you're not supposed to.
They have these bits of information and they can't connect the dots themselves. So what are the other people going to do about that? And they are freaked out as is. So I kind of understand.
Whew, excuse me. Hey, Comic Relief Crusader is here. What's up, buddy? If I'm an angel, I'm a fallen angel. Well, combat medic credo, angel to some, devil to others.
I'm definitely going to try that apple thing when you go medic on me again.
That won't
if an
work.
apple keeps you away.
One, I will catch it and I'll eat it because I love apples.
Of course you will.
I'll go, apple.
Throws an iPad at you.
Now that I might duck.
I'm going to hit you with a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Because you deserve it.
Oh, congrats, Comic Relief Crusader.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, fantastic, man. That's good news. It's time for a celebration. Have a good time.
Milestones. We just hit one ourselves with a 5K, which is amazing.
I'm still at 78.
I don't know where we're at right now. I get so focused on this whole KGRA thing that I forget we're at 5.08.
5.08, yeah. It's stuck again. It's been at that for a while.
Well, I pissed YouTube off again by not deleting things that they want me to delete, and I'm prolonging them. And when you do that, for some reason, you end up in timeout with YouTube.
Fuck YouTube.
Fix it.
Fuck YouTube. We have the most wonderful chat on here, but as for YouTube, they can go fuck themselves. We don't need them anyway. Now we're going radio.
Yeah, I don't like Gunn, but for different reasons. I mean, I've been a follower of Gunn for a long time, and I think there's something wrong with him, but his humor, he's got a fucked up sense of humor.
Yeah, those tweets that you retweeted? Jeez.
Oh, yeah. That was
what's wrong with that guy?
I remember worse than those.
Oh, God.
I told you, and I can't remember if it was MySpace or his blog, but he wrote this story about how he and his brother went to Six Flags, and they were in line and for one of I think it was the log ride, and it's right here in St. Louis, and this 12-year-old girl is getting irritated with the brother, the one that's the actor, and because he was hemming and hawing about getting on this ride. She goes, would you get on the ride? Stop being a pussy, get on the ride, we're all fucking waiting. 12-year-old girl said that. And then and James Gunn wrote that, and then he says, and then I was overtaken by the emotion that I could hardly wait till she turned 18 so I could fuck her.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
Creepy.
I'm like, because Zoe was like 5 when I read that. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just write? So this shit's not like something new with him. He's always trying to be, and what it is he's one of those guys that's trying to find his niche, his thing with his humor. And that was him trying to do it, but it was really just over the line stuff. And he did it for years. And when he deleted all 10,000 posts, when he was ordered to delete them, that's what he was deleting, all his fucking edgy, fucking inappropriate sex jokes about underage people. And then he goes after, what's his name that played Jared, calling him a pedophile, a pedo. I'm like, no, he's not a pedophile. He's an ephebophile because he likes girls who went through puberty but are underage. He likes post-pubescent girls. Whatever that fucker's name is. But anyway, there you go. That's my problem with James Gunn. James Gunn is also irreverent. He's okay if he's being managed as a director, but if he's left to his own devices, he pisses fans off with the stuff he does. He could easily be another Taika Waititi. I don't care what other people have argued. I've gotten into arguments over that. I said there's a very fine line between what he does and what Taika does. Very fine line. So much so that osmosis could occur between them with that thin line. You got to know biology to understand that joke. So fuck you. So continue.
I was just waiting for you to stop derailing.
I'm not derailed. This is my show.
I know.
All right, Danny.
What?
No, he was being like Danny.
No, I'm not like being
No.
like Danny. I'm
No, he's
actually,
not.
I'm just doing the thing where I'm responding to things and letting my point of view be known.
And
then we can
interacting
move
with chat is part of the show. So,
Yeah.
plus we still have half an hour left, so it's fine. Okay. Tove is with the search party and she thinks that she hears Ada. To which her mom just, she's overjoyed. Oh, you're hearing things too now. You're really the chosen one. I'm like, this woman is so crazy. The search party then splits up.
Well, she thinks that Tova has had immaculate conception.
Yeah. Some sort of religious thing. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, although we do learn that she actually saw that happen. So she's crazy.
Oh, is that this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
episode 6
right.
is when we slowly begin to, because she keeps going back and it's like she's trying to remember each time she goes back to that spot. And I think that's what's going on there is she's going back and then something's not right and then she comes back to it and then we see what really happened.
The men are on their way to the engine room and they find these black things, crystals, whatever they are, growing out of the ceiling in the hallway. What now?
No, I'm not going to tell you. I was just laughing at something somebody just said in the chat.
Yeah, and it's not the first
it's a Jeebus
time.
joke.
Yeah, he keeps telling.
I've
that
heard it
joke,
before.
and It's not even that funny. It's not the first
It's the
time he's
first time I
telling
saw
it
it.
on the show.
It's the first time I've seen it.
Please stop derailing, Jeebus. I know that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
He's just being himself.
Yep.
And probably high.
It's why I love him. Because he's so weird.
Mara and the captain are in her cabin, and she shows him that she has a black tiled shaft under her bed as well. And they go in, and the captain sees where her shaft ends because she told him before, your world in there isn't the only one. Yeah.
Phrasing.
F you.
Where does her shaft end? At the tip.
Sometimes you're just too much, even for me.
Phrasing.
Do you want to finish this?
No, go right ahead. I'm just tossing in the word phrasing.
Phrasing.
Thanks. Man, I need to go back to Archer to catch up before the new season comes out.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up and we'll go back to art because I need some. It cheers me up. It's been a shitty fucking. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Go.
Yeah, 2023 didn't start right.
No.
And that reminds me, while we're doing this, I want to check real quick on. Hold on. I want to check on the condition of 2 people today.
Oh, yeah, right.
And see if there's any updates. I'm not seeing any updates. I mean, they said he was becoming responsive, and I'm talking about Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, I've seen stuff that says he's awake. I don't know if that the last I heard this morning was that the doctors say he's neurologically intact. So,
yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's just he seems to be intact and he's responsive. And then, of course, I want to check see how Jeremy Renner is doing. And he posts that selfie. He looks beat up, dude. He looks so beat up.
Oh yeah.
He said, he can't type in his post. It's like, I'm so drugged up. I can't type right now. So I don't know. I'm grateful that those are two good stories. As tragic as that heart attack was, he had a coronary episode.
Yeah,
and
Damar Hamlin is awake and holding hands with family members. His agents tell CNN.
That's good. The thing that's scary about this is like how many athletes in particular, young people, have been just having sudden coronary episodes. And it's insane. When somebody showed a video, just clip after clip, article, headline, all these people in a very short period of time, young people athletes having sudden coronary episodes. It's unprecedented. And of course, there's a connection to it. And of course, immediately you got the deniers already out there. They don't know. They have no fucking clue what the answer is. And they're already making the denial of what it might be.
It's not unknown that athletes have heart attacks. It's happened before.
Oh, sure. I was a paramedic. I had a young guy,
because they just
die
get drugged up and go train, even if they're sick. That's not good for you.
But you do not see coronary episodes like this on this massive scale. This is just like way too many. Yeah, it's too many, and so it's really weird. And of course, immediately we all think we know what we think it is, but the left is like already out there saying it's not. Stop it! And it's like, how the fuck do you know? You're already creating a bulwark against information you have no information on. No information. And the fact is, medical reports state that thing that we're not talking about causes heart problems. One of those specifically. And so I'm like, yeah. Eventually, that wall is going to come down, and Anima's going to be able to come to the United States with no problems.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
know why. I don't
want to get that vaccine.
God, really. Why do I want you here so bad?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll annoy the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's like, I guess everybody figured out I have a crush on you. Anyway, so, all right, let's get back into it. Let's finish this show. We got 30 minutes. Well, less than 28.
Where did we stop? Oh, yeah, the men firing up the engines. But they need more coal, so Oleg goes up that ladder.
And this is a problem they pointed out early in the show of getting that
lever keeps getting stuck, and he goes up after him and helps him. And when they finally manage to pull it,
this is a virtual world. Why is that designed into that thing to gum up like that? There seems to be a reason behind everything. So why is it designed that way? I don't know. Go for it.
Well, to get her to help him activate or pull that lever, and when they manage to,
it's all about their love.
Yeah, they fall on top of each other, and he loses the picture of the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty falls out. Yeah,
and she finds it, and
from a girl.
Yeah, she wants to know, is it from a girl? And said, no, it's from a brother. And they kiss. Like at first they almost kiss, and then they do kiss.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, we made a mistake, and then no, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
I liked it. It was kind of romantic, not too sappy, and because the big thing that you and I both hate is when they go into a gratuitous sex scene for no reason. It's got nothing to do with
like the one with Angel and Cresta. I didn't.
Yeah, it's just like tell the story. Stop breaking the story to go off on these little things that really don't help the story. They don't push the story forward. But and it's already slow to begin with. The storytelling process of this show is very slow. So when you interrupt it by doing that, it makes it even more like, you're like a 5-year-old kid, like, don't worry, you've only got 5 more minutes, and you're like,
The storytelling is slow, but at the same time, it gives you so much to think about that I'm fine with it. I'm not mad at the show for having long episodes.
Slow's not the problem. It's when they stop the show.
Yeah,
that is literally every time they do something like that, they're stopping the show, like we're doing right now. You okay, John?
Yeah, I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Looked like something was bothering you. All right, so go ahead.
Daniel goes after the captain and Mora, and he finds the empty cross and is surprised. It looks like he's surprised by the cross being empty. The captain and Mara, meanwhile, are in the asylum, and she tells him the story about how her mom went crazy, and her dad built that mental hospital to experiment and find out about the human brain and how things work to make her better, to fix her, basically. Which freaks me out. Why? Yeah, that's what she thinks. That's what she thinks.
Exactly. Because
why put your children in? Why put your children into that?
Everybody in this show technically is an unreliable narrator with their history.
Yeah, they really are.
You cannot trust what they think they remember.
She leads the captain to room 1011, and the captain goes to the window and tries to look out, but all he sees is what looks like the ship's hull. And Mora then goes toward the wall and breaks a panel, and there's the ship's hull behind it. So,
yeah, I'm like,
what's going on with that?
Is this a hat on a hat situation?
Yeah, and
one virtual world on top of another virtual world. What?
Yeah, they really don't know what to think anymore. Because are they on the ship or are they not? Is this real? It's just... The first mate and the priests are on the bridge, and Ramiro is on the telegraph, but the first mate is like, yeah, nobody's going to respond, and he walks off. And the Dutch guy then confesses to Ramiro, in his language, of course, how his wife started to hear the voice of God, and he didn't even want to be a priest, but she had so much hope, and he wanted that too. So his wife is steering all that. He's confessing, I'm a loser.
Well, he doesn't have it. He's lost his faith.
He never had faith. He was a happy farmer. And then his wife went on a religious trip, and he just tried to follow. And he doesn't feel good about that. And then the thing happens. Mrs. Wilson and the Dutch mom, looking for survivors, they find black crystals in a cabin. And Mrs. Wilson touches it. Because that's what you do.
They just can't seem to prevent themselves from doing it. I don't understand what the draw is to want to touch something like that. It's interesting looking, but until you know what it is, why the fuck would you want to touch it?
Yeah. And of course, her finger turns black immediately.
It spreads.
Like,
it begins spreading up her hand. And
it's spreading through the ship, and now it's spreading through her.
And then, once again, what does she do? She keeps it from everybody.
Of course. Of course she does. I'm curious where this is going to lead up to.
I believe it'll be like a virus, and she'll spread it.
Maybe.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Tove she keeps having visions in this episode. So now she thinks she sees Kresta and goes after him, enters a cabin, and boom, she's back in the field where she's been before and not pregnant. And there's that man with a rifle holding Kresta at gunpoint, and he's mad because apparently Kresta has been getting into it with his son and ruined his son.
Yeah.
And as the man shoots at Kresta,
which I thought was interesting because you make the point of homophobe, but I'm like, well, how old is that son? That could also be playing into it. If he's underage, we don't know what this son did or with whom.
He's upset with Kresta for stealing his son's virginity. So,
as they would say, in Germany, or especially in Hebrew, well, what do they call it? Not Hebrew, but the Yiddish, the Fegele.
Yeah.
Is
I
what
don't
they
think
would
it's
call
an
that.
age thing, though.
You don't think it's the age? You just think that he's angry that that he deflowered his son.
Yeah. Because that's what he's all about. You stole my son's virginity. So
now I will steal something of yours.
if that's the main thing, then he can't be that young.
His main driving force, which is crazy. Yeah. Only a person that's crazy would think that way. Somebody not normal. Just saying. Tit for tat.
So he shoots at Cresta, and Mora jumps at him and knocks him down. So Cresta just gets shot on the side of it, like the side of his face. That's how he got that scar. That turns out to kill on, apparently.
Seriously, Jeebus?
What did he do this time?
No, ignoring.
Look, I don't put anything past creepy farmers like that, dude.
At that point, Mora wakes up back on the ship, snaps out of a vision or whatever that was. The first mate is in the dining hall, and he climbs into that cabinet.
Yeah, but you notice she's bloody. You notice she's bloody.
Yeah, she has blood on her face.
So what the fuck is that telling us? That maybe these aren't just episodes or visions, that there's something more going on. And I believe there's some truth.
No, she doesn't have blood on her face yet. That's after the next vision.
That's
after the next vision. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, she hasn't got to the actual full "this is what happened" vision yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just at the moment where she knocks Cresta down and he has blood on his face, she snaps out of it and is back on the ship. The first mate climbs into the cabinet, closes the door, and the same weird light that we saw when the boy respawned there.
That cabinet's a warp point.
Yeah, it's some kind of transporter or something. I don't know. Mora and the captain are still in the hospital trying to figure out where they are in reality, because it feels like part of the ship. And they keep seeing the ship's hull everywhere. Mora tells the captain about what the boy said about the creator. You have to ask the creator. I can't give you the answers. We then cut back to Tove and Clemence. They are on the deck, and Clemence walks off, and Tove sees Cresta again. But when he turns around, it's the man with the rifle, and she snaps back into that vision on the field. And that's where we see what happens, because the parents are with Cresta, who is wounded, and the rifleman is raping her as revenge, because Cresta was getting into it with his son. And Tove grabs a rock, bashes his head in, fights him off, and grabs his rifle and shoots him. That's what Cresta referred to when he said, it's not like you haven't murdered before. And she says, that was different. Because Jesus Christ, shooting your rapist is different from throwing an innocent boy overboard. I mean, it's innocent, but still.
I think so.
At that point, the men are successfully powering up the ship because they managed to get the fires going. And the priests are on the bridge, and the first mate who has left is supposed to steer the ship. So they're like, oh, holy shit, we need to figure out how to steer this thing. So they hit all the books that are there, but all the books just have one sentence that is repeated. May your coffee kick in before reality does.
Which is an amazing sentence.
Yes. It's like, hey, I'm hoping that every day with my morning coffee. In the next scene, we see the first mate is with Mora's father. So the cabin had transported him to wherever the father is. And he's telling the father that they have 48 hours till the transfer. To where, we don't know. And the father tells him, we need to find the boy before that happens. We need the pyramid. So yeah, the it that they refer to all the time is the pyramid. And it's important.
Actually, no, it's not. The pyramid's important, but that's not the it they're referring to. They'll clarify that in the next episode.
Okay. Anyway, that's what we think at this point.
Yeah.
They both are important, the boy and the pyramid.
Yes.
Is what we're getting from this. The captain and Mora find that black stuff in the hospital too now. And that's when Daniel shows up and begs Mora to remember, because they don't have much time. It's spreading. Clearly, we see it everywhere now. But she can't remember. She doesn't remember him. He keeps telling her, we married 12 years ago. Please remember me. But she doesn't. She can't remember and locks him up in room 1011. She then runs out of the hospital and shouts at her father, like, I know you're watching. Talk to me. What's happening? And she has the gun that Daniel had, and she throws it just away from her, and it hits what seems to be a glass wall and makes a dent there. And she's like, what the heck? We see the father watching her on a monitor. And she goes to that glass or whatever wall and starts peeling it away to see what's behind it, and it's the ship's hull again. We then see the women on deck, and they haven't found any survivors. It's just them. There's nobody else left. And there's a thunderstorm ahead. Heavy lightning, clouds, and they are steering. The ship is going right towards it. And the last scene is the captain climbing out of the tiled shaft under the bed, but he's not on the Kerberos. He's on the Prometheus.
Yep. Do.
I like how every episode ends in a way that you're like, what the fuck? I really enjoy this. And I'm sad we only have 2 more left. I want more. So I really do hope somebody picks it up.
Yeah. I think, this is where
you're missing something important.
Oh yeah, Clemence is wearing pants now. I forgot that scene.
Oh, that's not important. No,
it gave us a laugh though when we were watching it.
When the captain is on the Prometheus, it pulls back and you see all these other ships.
Yes.
All around him.
Yeah.
Hundreds of them.
So the graveyard. How often have they done this experiment?
Well, that's what I kept saying is maybe that's what's going on with these characters. And I do believe that everything is about mom and that little boy. And I think the boy is the central thing because he's not part of the complement. Otherwise, like I said, there'd be 2 versions of him.
And apparently the first mate and Daniel keep trying to fix it. They keep trying to fix whatever goes wrong with the experiment.
Yeah, and now we know that the first
so
mate
weird
is
when
involved correctly.
When the boys said, we've never come this far, so the boys also aware of whatever is going on being an experiment.
And another interesting point here is
how often have they done it?
We find out that that little cubby hole that he was locked in is actually a portal.
Yeah.
To go into the next level. So he, in full form, full costume, his avatar in this world, he's wearing the same thing when he goes into the other level to talk directly to her father. There are all these, it's like, what is it? The layers like an onion.
Yeah.
And once again, I love a puzzle, but my God, you better have a good fucking ending and have this go someplace. Otherwise, that will infuriate people like me who like puzzles.
People have been all over Twitter about how can you not give us a second season after ending on a cliffhanger like that. So I have a feeling we're going to be disappointed by the last.
Well, we need to push. This is one thing. You might not be able to save the series, but you can push Netflix to fund a film or co-fund a film.
Yes, please.
Just
even a comic book.
Producers, give us an ending to this.
Yeah, an animatic, just give us something that tells us what the fucking ending to this story is.
Or a novel. Anything.
anything. Just a mime. Have a mime out there on the street acting it out. Oh, look, I'm stuck in a box.
Give the series the ending it deserves. It's so good.
It does. It really does deserve better than it just be canceled like that unceremoniously. It frustrates me. Give me something, and I said it when I made my post announcing that it had been canceled, was this is why we can't have nice things. So we are at the 150 mark. That's the end of the show. In approximately 2 minutes, that's when Chanel would start, I loved it. Martine was like
5 minutes to the hour.
I don't know what he was doing at the time, but she came in at the end of the episode yesterday and started playing the music. So, are you in there, Martin?
No.
Oh, by the way, the shows on KGRA, they're on 2 hours. They're 1 hour 54.
Yeah, because they like the minute. It's really
because
weird.
The ad block is like
the ad block. It's like because she'll start going. She'll be posting. I'm still talking, and I'm like, we're only at 152. Oh my god! Yeah, we're not even at 154 at the end of the show. So technically, I guess we should wrap up shows at 154, 1 hour and 54 minutes. We'll get used to it. I'm happy to say that Chanel will be producing Military Monday, UFO Wednesday, and Dangerous Military Nerds. She will be producing all 3 shows every week. I'm so happy. She is awesome. I like her so much. And by the way, were you there when she sang?
Yeah, I was.
There? Were you there, Emma?
I was.
No.
Did you see it? No, you missed it. Shane fucking challenged her. He goes, sing something for me. And so she broke there, started singing.
In the after show?
She broke out House of the Rising Sun.
It took me a while to get the fucking link. Because just when I clicked the X, I saw the link for the after show pop up. And I went back on YouTube immediately to find the video of the show. But there was no chat. So I was like, I need the link. But of course, you didn't see my message on
It sucks that you missed that because she actually sang. She goes, okay. And I'm like,
she
all
has a
right,
band,
fuck yeah.
so
What's
I know
that?
she has a band.
Yeah, she's a great band. I like listening to them. I poked fun at her. I said, it's like all these giants, and then it's this like little hobbit. This little tiny dwarf. She's so like the rest of the band is like towering over her.
Yeah, she's even shorter than I am.
Oh, she's 4 foot something. But what a voice on her. She's got a great voice. So I'm hoping that we get all of our ducks in a row because I have to have a meeting with Bill about the show because he sent me a bunch of videos. But I'm sitting there, why are you sending me the videos? Because they're already there. So all we got to do is make sure that they're made available to us. And we should just have a lobby made for us to create our shows. So I really need to talk to him about that. And I'm hoping I can get a hold of him today. Because it'd be nice to get that out of the way because it's a concern that I have. It's like, how do we create each show? I know how I do it with our StreamYard, but now we're going to be doing it on theirs. So therefore, like Chanel will be creating 3 shows for us a week. But we need all 4 more shows created there. And am I going to be doing that? We got to figure that out.
6.
There's 7. Or wait, no.
We have 9 in
5,
total, right?
6, 7. There's 7
We
shows.
have 9 shows.
It's 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 shows.
No, it's 9. We have one every day, and we have 2 days with 2 shows.
Yeah, 5 days with 2 more. That's 7. And then
you have Saturday, and then you have Sunday.
No, I'm including Saturday. No, I'm including Saturday.
5 shows is Monday to Friday.
Monday through Friday is 5.
Yes.
Then TGIF, Saturday Morning Fun Time, and then wrestling. That is
and
8.
Dangerous Military Nerds. That's 9.
Oh shit! No, that's the one I forgot. Oh shit!
Yeah. We have 9 shows.
Fucking shows a week.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I don't do all of them.
So we need a producer for 6 more.
It's so funny because I got after Dork Night and Chris because they'll message me on Tuesday about business, and I don't respond. And I finally just said, because it's my fucking day off. Leave me alone. If you want to talk
Martine
to me
does
about personal stuff, that's fine.
Well, Martine's doing the rest of them except for Dark Side of the Ring. That's
Sunday.
me.
Yeah, and Sunday is his Tuesday, and Tuesday is my Sunday. But Sunday is also my Sunday. So I have Sunday and Tuesday. Those are the 2 days. Leave me the fuck alone. I want to focus on. There's this girl I know. I don't say anything in front of Anima. I really dig her. We've been spending an inordinate amount of time together, except for the New Year's and stuff. And she's kind of sexy and funny.
Such a jerk. Okay.
You guys realize we're still on the air, right?
Top of the hour. I'm out.
No, I know. Tomorrow. I know when I'm being a jerk. I'm a jerk whenever I feel like it. And that's it for the coffee. We're done with the show. I want to thank everybody for being here. And I'm going to get a mirror.
5 minutes short.
Get a mirror with the thing. I just said the show needs to end at 1:54. Technically, that's when we're supposed to end our shows. If we're following procedure, we're supposed to end at 1:54. So I want to thank Penny. I want to get, like I said, I want to get one of those handheld mirrors that's got the glass broken out of it, so I can do the romper room thing. I see Penny. I see Dork Knight. Joseph Dredd. For those of you who know romper room, you get the joke. D. Bud Martin, Monkey Jeebus, Joe's Atmosphere, The Crusader Lion, Christopher Moonlight Productions, Real Wade Nation, Zax, Sox Bulletin, Jacob the Critic, Snortopoopas Cuber, Alex Moore, Comic Relief Crusader, and Dragon Ruse. Was that everybody, Martin? I didn't miss anybody, right?
Jason Fox just showed up.
Jason. You're gay. No, I mean that. You're gay. He's like gay. If you didn't know that, Jason is gay. We made it clear one night. So you like dudes? He's yeah. Oh, you're gay. That's not a conversation we ever had. I love Jace. He's a sweetheart, man. Let's see. Yeah, I got everybody. Joseph Dredd. I got Joseph Dredd right in there. I mentioned him. All right. I want everybody to have a great Thursday. If you've not watched this show, Penny in particular, I hope you're enjoying the show. I think we're going to start, and I'm going to push for anybody else that supports the show to do a, campaign of support. And we need people who actually watch the show and say, hey, man, if you're not going to give us another season, at least give us a movie. Give us something to wrap this show up. Leave us on a cliffhanger. That makes Netflix look like a complete douche nozzle doing that. Just assholes. I don't like Netflix. Fuck them. Anyway, anything you want to add, John, Martine, Anima?
No, it's just the last two episodes are going to be.
So our next show is going to be the final, right?
Yep.
Oh well, we'll survive it. It sucks. I'm sorry, guys. And
we're going to have like a week with nothing to do until Vox Machina starts.
Right. Now, Keith has a show tomorrow. Keith has not gotten with me yet. I will send him a message. I don't believe in bisexual. It's like, I believe that you are either straight or gay, and gay with heterosexual tendencies is okay. Don't say bi. You're trisexual. You try anything. I love you, Jace. I'm just fucking with you. Alex Moore, what is the next TV series? Have we decided on what we're going to do?
Mm-mm.
Anima, did we talk about anything we're going to try to do next? Because I know Vox Machina comes out on around the 20th. Right? So I'm assuming we'll probably find a movie or two to talk about between now and then. You know, shut up,
the 19th.
Amelia. I heard her little bitching.
We'll have the 19th.
Well,
and then the next week we'll be able to.
Hey, that's great. I love the way you did that. No, keep doing it. It's fun.
What?
You two are talking over each other. Literally, you're physically over him, and you're both talking at the same
I'm
time.
just trying to figure out what you're talking about because I just got back.
Yeah, we gotta. We got one more episode of this, and next week, and then 2 episodes of the show, but 1 episode of ours.
We're wrapping up. Next week.
Yeah, we're wrapping up next week, so we're going to have to talk about something between now and the release of Vox Machina. So maybe
also
find some fantasy sci-fi movies that we want to talk about.
One episode of Vox Machina isn't going to fill a 2-hour show, so.
Fortunately, they're doing the first week.
Yeah, they do 2 at a time, right? They're doing them 2 at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first week's 3 episodes, and they're 2 at a time after that.
Then 2 at a time, yeah. So we'll be fine. We'll fill an hour, and God, they're so much fun. So we're gonna have fun watching them. All right, I added Vox to my viewing. Oh, absolutely, dude.
Good for you, Alex Moore. It's so much fun.
Well, there's something we could actually. I don't know if we could do it in 1 episode. Frisky Dingo, because it is a show that we should kind of look at, do an overview of the whole series, because we would not have Archer if not for Frisky Dingo.
You need to give me time to catch up on that. I haven't seen anything of that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to watch all of them.
There's 3 episodes a week of Vox Machina, which ends on February 10th. It's the last 3 episodes.
We'll be fine
now. C-Lab 2021 is very much what I refer to as an acquired taste. It is the show that led to Frisky Dingo. They first did they did Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Then they did C-Lab 2021. Each one led to the next. C-Lab 2021 led to Frisky Dingo. Frisky Dingo led to Archer. It's a gradual stepping stones to getting to what they did. Venture Brothers is a different group, but absolutely they use flash animation on the first episode of that one. But and I would like to talk about Venture Brothers. I love that show. It's one that I'm hoping we'll get those fucking movies and bring the show back. Fuck that hot girl series. Dumb, unfunny. Not one laugh. All right. I'm done bitching. Are you done bitching? Everybody done bitching?
Yeah.
Martin, are you done bitching?
The bitching is never done, but we can go.
Like I said, never.
Well, that's it. I'm going to fuck off and go do something else. See you guys later.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.